Hey, what's going on, everybody? When I first committed to doing this, I said I'd probably have it done in about a week, and that was a little over a month ago. I kind of just, didn't spread this out very well. My top lists of the year. Someone who comments on a lot of my videos, almost all of them, Nick Darden, he said that I need to finish my top 5 list. So these are the final 5 movies of 2012. Just getting them out of the way. I still have to do my actors and actresses. I'm probably going to do actresses right after this video, so look out for that one. But this is my final top 5 top 5 movies of 2012. First off, number 5 is Argo, directed by Ben Affleck. I really enjoyed Argo. The first time I seen it, I thought it was fantastic. I still think it's fantastic. I've yet to see it again. It's just a very well made film, and it's a very, in my opinion, suspenseful film. I really didn't know where the movie was gonna go. I mean, the final, I can see why people don't like it, or I can see why people don't have it as high as me, because the final, 15, 20 minutes are a little fictional, highly over-exaggerated, but regardless, I still thought they were great, and still very intense throughout the whole film. I thought it was extremely well acted. I think Ben Affleck gives a fantastic performance in that movie, but the direction is really where it's at. Just brilliantly directed. He definitely got snubbed for best director, in my opinion. I'm not usually one to, say that someone got snubbed, but I mean, the guy's winning everything. How can you not give him? He's literally won every single award show, and you don't give him the best, director nomination. When I first seen the film, I thought he would be the front runner to win. But, he didn't get the nomination, and, shame on the Academy, because he was fantastic in that movie. Acting and directing. Number 4 is Looper. I actually just rewatched Looper yesterday with one of my friends, and I think it still holds up. It still stays true to that number 4. I was a little bit weary, because if it didn't hold up, I would have had to move it down, and then it'd kind of mess up my entire list. But the ending, the last 35 minutes, 40 minutes of Looper are just fantastic. One of the best finales, third acts to a movie of the year, and the ending is just brilliant. That might be my favorite ending to a movie of the entire year. I think it's the last 5 minutes of that movie are just so freaking good, and it just makes the movie really, and just well-made movie, extremely original, extremely well-directed, great acting. I thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt was great, and Emily Blunt made my top supporting actresses of the year. I thought she was great. Even Bruce Willis was good in this movie. I thought it was just so original, so well directed, and such a creative movie that, I'm not a huge sci-fi fan. If you look through all my DVDs and all my Blu-rays, I probably have no more than 10 sci-fi movies in it. But this one is one that I would definitely say is one of my favorites. It's just so creative, and, it's not an action movie. It's a thought-provoking drama with sci-fi elements to it. That's how I like to think of it. And it's just really well made. I really enjoyed it. With that being said, Looper is number 4. Number 3 is Life of Pi by Ang Lee. A movie that I didn't know what my expectations were going into that movie. They were, I thought it was going to be visually good, but the actual narrative of the film I thought was fantastic. I haven't had an emotional journey in a movie like that in a long time. It's just from the story standpoint, it is just so beautifully written. It's such a beautiful book. It was one of those, very rarely do I see a movie where I go, I want to read the book. And that's one movie where I said, I want to read the book, because it was just so beautifully written, and I just loved it. But the actual cinematic film itself is just so gorgeous. It is well directed, acted, and it's a spectacle. I mean, the movie is like an event. I am so glad I seen that movie in theaters, because it truly blew my mind. It had such a beautiful story, and but the whole movie as a whole, the 3D was amazing, and just it was like an event. I don't know that's the best word to describe it. I mean, it's just like, you don't see many movies like that. You don't see many movies where they're visually stunning, and then the narrative is great too. I mean, you get movies like Titanic and things like that, and I think a lot of people compare this to Avatar. which I think is wrongfully so. I think if you want to compare it to any James Cameron movie, it should be Titanic, because that movie has, the dialogue and the acting to go along with the beautiful cinematic, ness of the film. So just a beautifully made movie, and so well directed. If I had a pick for best director now, after, I just said Ben Affleck, but if I had one now, I would pick Ang Lee, because that movie's I'm going to say the word for the last time, an event. And that is why it's my number 3 favorite movie of the year. Number 2 favorite movie of the year is Django Unchained. I absolutely loved this movie. I think it was because I had high expectations, because I love Quentin Tarantino as a filmmaker, but the trailers didn't blow me away. I wasn't totally blown away by the trailers for this film, and oh man, it's just a fantastic movie. I would say the final 20 minutes of the movie, I kept it from being number 1 because I didn't like where it went with that. But just great movie, and the performances throughout the movie, especially, I gave Samuel L. Jackson a nomination if I did it. I think DiCaprio's fantastic. I think Jamie Foxx is good, but Christoph Waltz is just brilliant in this movie. He's such a fantastic character actor, and he, if Quentin Tarantino is writing the characters, you just know they're going to be amazing for him. Just a great script, definitely my favorite script of the year. Maybe the next movie might be my favorite script of the year, but this movie has just fantastic dialogue. It's so clever, and it's Tarantino, at his best. He's still in the peak of his career. I would say it's like my 4th favorite Tarantino movie, but sorry. Text. But yeah, it's still fantastically made, and just a great, hilarious movie. I was not expecting it to be as funny as it really was, and just, oh man, it was just a hilarious movie, and it was just so violent. And Tarantino is, no one can praise Quentin Tarantino enough. That man knows how good he is, and he just proves why he's one of the best, film visionaries of all art, definitely my time, but of all time. That guy is, so original, and I absolutely love Django Unchained, and that's why it's my number 2 favorite movie of the year. And number 1 favorite movie of the year is a movie that, it's not a 10 out of 10, but I just absolutely love this movie. I've seen it 5 times now. I've seen it 3 times in theaters, and I've just watched it 2 times at home, and I absolutely see myself loving this film for the next 30 years. I absolutely adore it, and it is Perks of Being a Wallflower. I think The Perks of Being a Wallflower is just a fantastically well-made coming-of-age movie, and in a time where, in the 80s, coming-of-age films were extremely popular. John Hughes did a lot of them, and this movie gets compared to The Breakfast Club a lot, which I absolutely adore The Breakfast Club. I feel the same way about those 2 films. I don't think they're, they don't go up with movies like Taxi Driver and stuff like that, but for what they are amazing at, telling a story about teenagers and where these people are going. And, it's a time that I'm familiar with. I'm only 21, so I was a teenager not too long ago, and I can relate to a lot of the characters, and that's the thing about coming of age movies, is it takes you back to the places where you felt, the teenage years are the times of your lives for most of us, and that's why this movie's so good. It takes you back to a place where you want to go, and I absolutely adored it. I think Logan Lerman is fantastic in this movie. I've never really, he's not a guy that gets a lot of critical praise, but he was great in this movie. Ezra Miller will definitely be, I already said Ezra Miller was one of my favorite supporting actors. And Emma Watson, if you don't fall in love with Emma Watson in The Perks of Being a Wallflower, something's wrong with you, because she is just stunning and such a great young actress. I absolutely loved her in this movie. And yeah, that's my final 5 movies of the year. If you haven't seen Perks of Being a Wallflower, it just came out 2 days ago on Tuesday. Buy that movie. Don't rent it. Just buy it. It's just, it's got like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's just a brilliant coming of age movie. There might be movies like that are Oscar winners and stuff like that are better, but it's just a movie that clicked with me, and it might not be your number 1, but I'm almost guaranteed you will like that movie. It's just such a well written and well directed because it's from the guy who wrote the book. It's just such a well-made movie, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Definitely my favorite of the year, and one of my favorites of all time. It's a movie that I'll always, stick close to me and watch that movie for a long, long time. So check out Perks Being a Wallflower, and check out all the other movies if you haven't seen them. The other four are kind of more, mainstream popular movies that most of you guys have seen. But if you haven't, they're all great movies and definitely deserve a spot on this top 5. So leave a comment down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Help me get some more subscribers. Thanks again, Nick, for reminding me to do this. I always look forward to your comments, and thanks again, man. I appreciate that. And, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one, guys. Appreciate it.